Sam, can you hear us? Speak, good sir. Oh, he says he can't hear anything.
Oh, weird.
Oh.
We can hear him setting up.
Yeah, we can hear you typing. Sounds like an elephant walking.
Maybe he can hear us. He's just messing.
He's messing around with us right now. How can we hear him typing? But it's your mic settings.
Fucking Skype.
Your alternative talk radio contact, The Planet, KGRAradio.com.
With infinite complacency, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space.
Welcome to another episode of Into the Fray, hovering over you like a black triangle in a deserted field. Visit the mothership at intothefrayradio.com. There you can find all the episodes, the blog posts, ITF gear, and sign up for the free guest newsletter. The weekly show is, of course, always free and available in all podcatchers, but if you'd like to support the show, and why wouldn't you, go to the website and click Become an Insider, which in turn gets you extra content each and every month. And by the way, if you would be so kind as to leave a rating and review in your listening platform of choice, Cosmic Karma shall be yours. Be part of the discussion by joining the interactive ITF Facebook group. Follow on Twitter at ITF_radio and Instagram. If you have an experience that you'd like to share, email Shannon at intothefrayradio.com. Thanks so much for listening. Now, if you would be so kind, buckle up your safety belts. Put that tray table in the upright position. Liftoff is upon us.
So I'm really excited for my Skype to update, guys. I mean, this is sounding really like a good thing.
They're really making you work for it now. They're like, if we're gonna give this to you for free, like, you gotta work for it.
That's probably what it is too. They're like, we will make you pay somehow.
Yeah, if Skype's listening, why would you update and redesign your entire system and make it worse?
It's so bad, dude.
I wonder why mine hasn't updated. It usually does it on its own, but I guess I should not be speaking of the devil as such. Yeah. It's fine if it stays like this.
Mine didn't tell me. Well, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Long time no talkie, guys.
Yeah, greetings from deepest, darkest England.
Mm-hmm.
Deep and dark.
The most haunted place in the world. On the flat Earth.
It's dark here, too, today.
Hey, guess what? It was raining today.
Oh, this is very strange.
What a surprise!
Yeah, no shocker there, really.
Yeah,
Sam, it's been super gloomy here, like since you left, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I won't say anything more, but no, it's been like super humid, which I hear is rare for California.
That's
but
because,
my God.
Yeah, it's because America misses me, you know. Short little vacation, but I'll be
It's
back.
weeping.
I know.
It's all just cloudy and it's got the sniffles and sinuses, just like me. And Ryan, I'm hearing, is not feeling very good either. So.
Yeah, well, I'll be back. I just have rock festivals to attend, so.
Hell yeah,
Such a terrible life.
Yeah.
It's terrible. God.
What else is going on with you guys? Inquiring minds want to know. Everyone has missed you. I've missed you. What's going on?
What's new, Ryan? I've been listening to your podcast, Somewhere in the Skies. It's amazing, by the way. I just can't get enough of it. Every episode ends and I'm like, oh, is that it?
Oh, wow. Well, thanks, man. No, it's been a wild ride. I'm stumbling along, learning, new tricks of the trade every week. And it's just been, I'll tell you, ever since I moved out west, like, things have just kind of skyrocketed for the podcast, and it's really, really cool. Just the kind of people I'm getting on, just trying to make it different. I don't want it to be an echo chamber every week of UFO researchers arguing or bickering about things.
Wait, they argue? No.
What? Oh, I can give you some stories. I was in Nova Scotia last weekend, and it almost got to fisticuffs at one point. And we were recording, and I will tell you what, that will never air, unfortunately.
Oh,
it gets heated.
That picture, then, the one that you said, hey, let's caption this, is that just prior to, the problems?
Yes.
No kidding.
If you go on the Somewhere in the Skies Facebook group, there's a photo of a bunch of us, and I'll tell you, like, maybe 20 minutes after that and 20 drinks later, things got a little heated. But I was recently in Nova Scotia for a conference, the inaugural Esotericon, which was pretty cool. Paul Kimball, the filmmaker, UFO researcher, all around awesome Canuck. He brought a bunch of us out there to give talks on everything esoteric. People were talking about flat earthers, consciousness, mysticism. Our buddy Micah Hanks was there, Greg Bishop, and we just had a good time. It was a weekend full of, conversation and everything in between. And we got to see Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is a beautiful little city. So that's what I've been doing. Just a lot of bouncing around and just trying to make the most of my time here on the West Coast while I'm still here. So, yeah.
Yeah, if people didn't know, Ryan is exiting a mass exodus from the West Coast and going back to the East Coast.
Yeah, I wondered about this, and I think, is this because, in regards to your now very successful book, Somewhere in the Skies, and now your podcast to follow that of the same name, you've been digging a lot deeper into the UFO field, and as you say, it's not typically just repeating and regurgitating information. You're actually getting some pretty good people on there. So is the reason that you're moving back to New York because you've had a visit from the Men in Black and they've told you to calm down?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not at liberty to discuss that, Sam, but the answer is yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So they want you out of California, right? Okay.
Yeah.
They think I'm getting a little too big for my britches, so time to go back to a place that doesn't give a flying F about you, and that's New York City.
Wow.
Everyone keeps asking, like, why would you go back to somewhere like that? And I just tell them it's the most loving and abusive relationship you can ever have.
Yeah, no, I love New York, very fond of it myself. Go back whenever I can, but I heard it's expensive as well.
It is. It's, again, it doesn't really care about you. It'll chew you up, spit you out, but it's worth it. I love it. And I will tell you guys this, I have loved living here in LA. It's opened my eyes because you get stuck in that bubble, no matter where you're from, even a small town, or it's just like everything kind of revolves around that. So it's been so rewarding to get somewhere else in the world, even if it's just on another coast of the United States, and see how things are. And I will tell you this, the people in Los Angeles, though they're a little weird for me, Sam, they are the nicest people I've ever met. And that's going to be extremely hard when I'm leaving. I've made some incredible friends here, and some enemies always, but it's been extremely rewarding.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I've, as everyone knows, I'm from Great Britain. They're not so Great Britain anymore, but we're still great. We, we have a tendency of this sort of outside view of America, and especially Hollywood, as this sort of Mount Olympus where everything's amazing and glistens and gold, and it's fame and all that kind of stuff. Much like New York in many ways as well, with the whole Broadway scene. But you get to California, and then you hear these sort of rumors and sort of legends of people who are really nasty, and they're backstabbing, and there's these sort of cliques and circles of just awful people that will use you. And I thought, yeah, but isn't that everywhere? Aren't there good and bad people everywhere? And then I moved to Los Angeles, and I thought, no, that's not a myth. LA is particularly bad for that. Yeah, it is pretty cutthroat. There are a lot of people who will jump on, other people's bandwagons to sort of get ahead, and then leave them behind and use them. And I've seen this happen to a lot of my friends. And luckily, I haven't been burned, but I've been close, and I've seen it coming. And I've sort of just stood there and laughed and said, no, it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I definitely know that feeling.
Met some good and bad people, but some great friends out there. Really good friends.
Aren't you going to miss the incredibly mild winters with no snow, though, Ryan?
So I went back in the middle of January this past winter to visit my family, have a late Christmas, and of course I picked the week that they had one of their massive blizzards. So it felt good to be home in my natural for a few days. But yes, I will miss the weather so much. It's been amazing here. I say that now. I'm sure that'll change in about a month or so. But no, it's been great. And now I see why so many East Coasters move out here. It's one huge thing that you don't have to worry about anymore. It's just that whole winter thing. It can be terrible. Growing up on the East Coast and in one of the snowiest, coldest places of all places on the East Coast, like, I still hate it, and I still don't get it, and I still want to escape it anytime I can. So, yeah, I will miss the weather most, and the people, and the coffee, and the food. Oh, why am I leaving? Guys, stop. I'm going to end up staying here if we talk about this anymore.
You're like, hang on a minute. The pros and cons over here.
I'll take all of that, but not the sunshine and the heat. I'm the opposite. Just remove that, or just tone it down a little bit, because it's too much. It's too much for me.
Sampire does not like all that sunshine.
Sampire, that's funny. But yeah, I prefer my cold and my rain and my wind and my chill, because at least you have a choice. You can be warm or you can be cool. Whereas in the heat, you can't get away from it, and it's mind numbing. I can't get anything done.
That's a good point. Yeah. You can always take layers off.
I do. I spend most of my days in my boxer shorts. In fact, as you know, I've done one of these episodes completely naked.
I think I remember that episode. Yeah. We had fun with that one.
It was just so hot. All I had on was a pair of headphones.
Yeah.
Guys, we all have bodies for radio.
Yeah.
Sam's got his hair up in the man bun because he's like, I can't, it's too effing hot. I can't even have my hair touching my shoulders right now. I can't do it.
Just for the record, I never wear a man bun out. It's not a thing for me. It's really not.
Not out, exactly. But if you're in, why the hell not?
If I'm in and I'm doing a podcast, and again, the only thing I'm going to wear is a pair of headphones, then fine.
If the Men in Black were a real thing, I just want to throw this out there. If you guys want to screen capture at one point, get into one of our cameras, you never know what you might see. I mean, man buns and just radio bodies just hanging out.
Yeah, knock on my door. That's fine. I'll just open the door. Hey guys, can I help you?
I just get tired of the stories that people say that there's a car parked out in front of my house and it's been following me for 2 days. I'm like, I'm waiting for that. That hasn't happened to me, so I know I haven't really made it yet.
You know what's interesting? I spoke to a guy maybe a couple months ago. We did a Men in Black episode of SITS, and he I'm abbreviating it now. Aren't I cool? Anyways,
SITS. Very nice.
Where we talked about the Men in Black, and he was and this was in a comic book as well. What was it called? Saucer Country, where the Air Force actually, like, the whole Men in Black phenomenon is just a prank that the Air Force plays on people after UFO sightings. Like, oh, they saw something. Let's go out and mess with them. We'll dress in black suits. We'll act really weird. See what happens, and we'll come back and have a good laugh about it. And you know what? Like, the more I think about that, that could be very true. Like, look at like the Paul Benowitz incident, where like the Air Force and I believe that it was either the CIA or DOD got involved. This dude reported seeing UFOs over an Air Force base, and they started messing with his head and telling him, "Oh yeah, aliens are invading. We need you to keep this quiet." They would break into this guy's home, which was right across the street from the base, and they would just move things around in his apartment slightly, or they'd hack into his computer and give him messages from the aliens. And this is all documented, by the way. Like, this actually happened, and they slowly drove this guy insane. It was crazy. So, I mean, that's upping the prank a little bit, but my God, it wouldn't surprise me if they would go to those lengths to do things like that.
You never know.
Yeah.
MK Ultra.
I think the government, as you know, we've gone over this many times, and you particularly, Ryan, know more than this than any of us in regards to UFOs. But we can all sort of accept that even the government or whoever's running the show that knows the most, even they still don't know what's going on and who they are, maybe. Which is why I think Tom DeLonge is a sort of distraction. I think he doesn't know, and he's been probably promised a bunch of things that they don't know, and they're just saying, yeah, we'll tell you all the stuff just to distract everybody from the real thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a good point, Sam. And I mean, I don't think, Shannon, we haven't, I think, talked about this whole thing since we all last spoke, the whole Tom DeLonge thing. It's been crazy. Have you guys been following all this?
A little bit here and there.
Yeah. The last I saw, he was in an SUV with my future best friend George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell.
I thought you were going to say future husband.
I mean, he's already married, so I don't want to make it weird. But you know, I love George Knapp.
Things change.
Love that guy. So that's the last I saw, and then I wasn't really following it too much. But you know, they've been super heavy into this Skinwalker Ranch thing that's going on. Yeah,
I mean, so the story broke like last December, or what was it? The New York Times, and it's just been insane since then. You know, DeLonge sort of promised for almost 2 years that he had info on all this UFO stuff. You know, the Pentagon was involved, and then it dropped. Yeah, they'd been studying UFOs secretly for like 6, 7, 8 years. $22 million they gave to this program, just enough to keep it under the radar. And they had some really compelling stuff. They've released some videos that were pretty interesting. And now we're learning that Bob Bigelow was involved with his program Bass, and that a lot of this program is funded by Bob Bigelow out at Skinwalker Ranch. So not only were they studying UFOs, but we're learning now through, declassified documents that they were also studying creatures and invisible Bigfoots and apparitions and time portals. This is insane. Like, this was a government funded project, and it's apparently, even though it was canceled or whatnot, their funding was canceled, it's still going on in even deeper of like a classified program. So yeah, I am eating this stuff up. Tom DeLonge just seems to be a conduit who they've kind of put in the back corner now. I think he really, really screwed up with all this with his Joe Rogan interview.
Oh yeah.
It was a train wreck, Sam. Absolutely train wreck.
Was it? I did not listen.
It was.
Why was it a train wreck?
He went off and just sounded like a complete nutcase. Oh, no. And I don't know if he was on something or if him and Rogan were, hitting the ganja a little bit.
It's funny. But if you listen to a couple of months back, Micah Hanks on the Gralien Report did an amazing sort of little review of the Joe Rogan interview with Tom DeLonge, and they played actual clips. And I think it's something like on 8 occasions, Joe Rogan will ask something and they'll say, and here was his answer. This is what he had to say. And then it would always go to a clip of Tom DeLonge saying, well, I can't say, or I really don't know, or
Yeah.
I can't repeat that.
Oh,
and it was
God.
nothing. So if you want to have a good laugh, listen to the Gralien Report, go back a few episodes, and you'll find this amazing little review where it's pure comedy, because the guy, as he said, the interview was a disaster. The guy said nothing, absolutely nothing.
Right. And this was supposed to be like the first major announcement about this huge To the Stars program he was doing, and to get it out to the mainstream. And I think they really screwed the pooch on that one. But he's been pretty much silent ever since. I mean, I didn't share this, but he was doing a book signing here in LA, and I contacted his publicist. I'm like, I would love to interview Tom about all of this stuff going on, if he could give me like even 2 minutes. And they're like, yeah, totally, come, we'll set it up, let's do it. And then 5 minutes later, they contacted me and they're like, Mr. DeLonge will not be talking about any of this anymore.
God.
So it was a bummer, but I get it. Like, he really screwed it up. This could have been something huge. And the stories are still coming out. This Pentagon story about Skinwalker Ranch just came out like a couple days ago. It'd been rumored, but now it's here. It's we're going to see an amazing film by Jeremy Corbell in the future about all this. And it's just a huge mess, but hopefully we can navigate our way through it and find some really cool stuff out of all of it. I don't think this is disclosure in any way, shape, or form, but it's a step. And it's showing us that at least the government is interested, and they continue to look into it. But like I always say, we don't need the government to disclose any of this for us. Like, we can do that ourselves.
The ever elusive Big D.
I think Tom DeLonge is, I keep going back to it just, for me, it's not even suspicious. It doesn't smell funny. It just, I think he's just a very rich man with a passion like everyone else has, that just has the ability, because of his money and his status, to get into this kind of thing. He's I don't want to say he's just a wannabe. He's a fanatic. He is obsessed with this kind of stuff and does know a lot of things. But I do wonder if all he is just another kid, another one of us that's just really into it, that's fortunate enough to be able to pay his way into this little situation. And again, I think he's a plant. I think they've said, yeah, great, we'll take your money and your fame and it'll help our projects along. And I think those projects are actually, again, just a bunch of people kind of wishful thinking, and the real story is nothing to do with them.
Agreed. 100% agreed, Sam.
Well,
which I'm not knocking. It's entertaining, and they will get something going, and they will find things out. Everything does help. I'm not saying they should be stopped. I'm saying, yeah, carry on, that's great. But I'm not saying that they should be looked at as the kind of the Vatican of this whole scene, because they're not. They're not the numero uno behind the problem or the mystery. They are just another group of people with many of us who are all looking into it. They're not the sort of, number one experts on this by any stretch.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And, Tom himself, he's sort of funding and spearheading the whole entertainment end of all this. And that's a big part of it, is they want to make documentaries, books, comics, movies, to help fund the research. And I think that's awesome. And DeLonge, no matter what you think about his music or him as a person, like, he produces some high quality, cool stuff, in my opinion. I was a huge Blink fan growing up, but and Angels and Airwaves. But we're going to get some really cool movies and documentaries out of all this. So I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Like, getting this topic out to the mainstream. That's what we've always wanted. So instead of knocking these guys for doing it, like, I give them all the credit, and I do look forward to all these small things coming out. Like, again, we would not know about this gimbal footage, which, if any of the listeners haven't seen this, go type that in on Google right now and look at it. Some of the most compelling gun camera footage of a UFO I've ever seen. It's terrifying. You can hear the pilots talking about what they're seeing, and they're scared. They're completely out of character and protocol while they're describing what they're seeing, and it's really, really interesting. And if we can even get small things like that, I'm all for it.
You said it again. All the small things. Isn't that a Blink-182 song?
Yes, it is.
Ryan, stop trying to kick his ass, all right?
Yeah. Well,
Fire me,
Well,
DeLonge.
damn.
yeah.
I posted a photo of me at To the Stars headquarters about a month ago. I was in it.
I saw that.
And I didn't really give any context, and I did that on purpose. I just wanted to throw it up there and see what happened. And people flipped out. They're like, "Oh, you sellout! Are you working for Tom DeLonge? What are you doing there? Oh, are you breaking in? Like, what's happening?" I'm like, no, I just happened to be at a cafe next door.
Wow.
Breaking in.
And you didn't knock on the door. You weren't tempted.
Plaid man breaks
I
in.
knocked on the door, but nobody was there.
You devil, you knocked on the door.
I knocked down the door, and it was an empty room.
Politely rapped 3 times at the chamber door. Mm-hmm.
But Shannon, I've been listening ever since we last talked, the three of us, and my God, I gotta say, like, things are just ramping up over at ITF too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I just joined you guys over at KGRA, so that's been a fun ride
yes,
too.
Congratulations on that. Joining the fam.
It was a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I'm happy that you're finally over there, so.
And our buddies Expanded Perspectives are over there. Oh my God, Mike is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's becoming like a major hub, I think, for a lot of us, and I think that's pretty cool. I look forward to whatever they got next. I know Race Hobbs has some big plans over there, so
Hobbs.
I'm just excited to be along for the ride. Hobbs.
You gotta throw the last one in, of course. No, I was on Facebook this morning, and it was literally like, an hour before we hopped on, and you posted that Pentagon UFO information in Somewhere in the Skies group, and I clicked on it, and then I'm reading the name Bigelow. I'm like, oh boy, we're talking about Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, son, everybody loves Skinwalker Ranch. And in fact, one of the big hubbubs lately between George Knapp and Ryan Skinner and all of these people that are, really into the ranch and interested in the ranch. Ryan Skinner, of course, has written a couple of books on the ranch and has been there himself and has even seen the infamous Bulletproof Wolf, or famous, whatever you want to call it. The talk is that no one is quite sure if Bigelow still owns that ranch, because he denies it. Other people around him are denying it. George is saying that, no, Bigelow's not part of the ranch anymore. But there's other information coming in that Ryan is getting that says otherwise. So I'm going to have him on next week, finally, and we're going to talk what he's experienced on Skinwalker Ranch and some of the current things going on with the ranch and who's visiting and who may own it and all these different things that may be going on, because the ranch, from what I'm hearing, is still extremely active.
Yeah, I've heard that too from Jeremy Corbell. He was there. He's been going back there for the last 6 months, and he'll message me while he's there and just be like, "This is effing crazy. Like, you can't believe what just happened. I can't tell you about it, but you can't believe what just happened."
You're like a damn tease. Did you see the picture that he posted of, he took a selfie in a private plane, and that picture absolutely exploded the internet because people are trying to get, it showed part of the pilot's back and then the whole panel for all of the avionics. People were zooming in and using Photoshop to, try to decode certain aspects of where he was, whose plane it was. People are amazing, like the things that they are trying to find out and that they can find out. But he was saying, no, this is not Bigelow's plane. And they're like, well, it's somebody's private plane, which means they have a lot of damn money. So anyway, I thought that picture was so funny. The whole place just exploded when he posted that. That is a really good point, Shannon. The internet, God bless the internet. People have the time and the resources to dig when these things happen. And when this whole Pentagon story came out, the original program was called, I think, Advanced Aerial Threat Protection
something like that, a tip. And there was a gentleman in Australia and also John Greenwald over at the Black Vault who were able to dig even deeper after this program became unclassified. And they were able to find an original program named something else that this was based off of. So this Pentagon program, that's not even the official name of it. So again, there are those people who are going to go out there and they're going to dig, and they're going to be the ones who bring forth even more information. It's a snowball effect. And I think that's what's cool about DeLonge and all the things he's doing. Yeah, they might be the first to put it out there, but they know damn well that the UFO community, that the paranormal community, like, we're going to dig even deeper and we're going to find things that they probably weren't even thinking about. So I think that's really cool what Ryan is doing. And I can't wait to hear what y'all are going to talk about, because he's going to have stuff that Corbell didn't find, that Knapp didn't find, and like you said, stuff is still going on. So that's awesome.
All I know is, when me and George, we'll hang out a lot one of these days, and I'll get the inside scoop from that side. So it's
Fun
coming.
pets.
I'll let you guys know what happens with that. Yeah, just throwing that out there, George. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I feel better.
You and George should go. You should go camping with him.
I should. I mean, we could
Just
go out
just
where
road trip.
where Kenny Veach disappeared. I still want to go out there. It's a hell of a walk. The whole M cave, and I was even talking with David Pilates about this, and I'm like, I got to get out there. Of course, he was armed too, and look what happened to him. So it's not always the end all be all to go out armed, and you have to be really smart. And going out alone is the stupidest thing that anybody can do anywhere, in the woods or the desert or anything. The woods is of course a dangerous place, but so is the desert. There's all kinds of shit that can get you out there too. Camel spiders, they eat you.
Yeah. Crazy people.
Hills have
Crazy
eyes,
wild
baby.
people.
Never know.
Yeah, people who are just sick of the government and have decided to live off grid and off people.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Yummy.
Ugh.
Sam, you posted something this week. Was that an album cover? The with the rabbit?
This new
yeah,
print.
Is that your new print?
It's just a piece of artwork for myself, because it was on my brain and it was bugging me, and I thought, if I don't create this, I'm going to go insane. But I was fascinated with the idea of a jackalope, which is an American rabbit with sort of little deer antlers, and it's a piece of American folklore, I believe. But the jackalope is people have been asking me for months and months, why don't you do a jackalope, paint a jackalope, illustrate a jackalope? And I thought, and in the back of my mind I said, I'll do a black one, because that's sort of more geared towards the dark art that I'll be quite often doing. And then as I was doing it, I thought, I just had this weird epiphany of, why don't I just mix this with the occult deity Baphomet and put a flaming sort of little tuft on the top of his head and everything, and have some crosses hanging from his horns. But yeah, that's up there now, actually, for sale if people want to buy a print of it.
Where is it? Big Cartel?
Big Cartel, yeah. So the address would be Mr. MISTER, Mr. Sam Shearon, SHEARON .bigcartel.com. So Mr. Sam Shearon .bigcartel.com, and it's linked on my Facebook and Instagram.
Follow me there. Are you doing signed prints for people?
Oh yeah, they're signed in silver ink, and they measure 11 inches by 16 inches, and they're on high quality card paper. So enjoy that. Stick that up somewhere.
Yes.
Right. Stick that on your wall.
Right next to my next to my actual jackalope.
Oh, cool.
Which I haven't seen in almost a year and a half now. So
wow.
It didn't make the trip over.
Oh,
but,
no, the jackalope didn't come with you guys to LA? How come?
Oh, Jane is very upset about that. That's like her favorite item we own. But it was, it was tough because I had to ship stuff across the country, and I really didn't trust. I should put more trust in the people.
No, you shouldn't. I lost a ton of shit moving back and forth Ohio. I lost a bunch, and I know that people went through my stuff because they had put different colored tape that I've never owned back on my damn box. Oh yeah, they taped it right back up after they went through it. So yeah, good stuff. I think it's a good time for a break. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by age 35? And unfortunately, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. The fact is, it's far easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Is your hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Or maybe you've even noticed some bald spots. Let's be honest, would you be okay if it's business as usual up there a year from now? So with that said, I ask you, do you want a bald spot to pop up, or do you want to do something about it? Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? Why do guys turn to weird solutions, or do nothing, when they can turn to medicine and science? ForHims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. One of the best parts about it? No waiting room. No awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. All you have to do is answer a few quick questions, and a doctor will review and prescribe you. Products are shipped directly to your door. So, order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/fray. That's FORHIMS.com/fray. forhims.com/fray.
Yeah, like I don't want people going through my stuff.
Wow, you're a
that's
terrible
like,
human
if you
being.
want to add stuff to my boxes, that's cool. I'm all for like surprises, but like taking stuff away, like like you said, some of those things are so personal
Thievery.
that you'll never get it back.
Well, most of it's hideous crap that's only important to me because like I had it since I was a kid, whatever the hell it might have been. You know, they would just look at it and go, well, this is garbage, and just throw it on the ground or throw it away. You know, whereas I have had that since I was a kid or something. So anyway, that's, I was just, my point is you were right to leave something that you and Jane find very valuable behind so that the less hands touch it, the better. Then you might actually keep it.
It's in my parents' attic right now. And I know my dad's, called me a couple times, been like, get this thing out of our house. It's scaring the crap out of me.
Well, speaking of sentimental things, I have a little art plug. I'd like to give a little shout out to a very dear friend of mine and of yours, Shannon and Ryan, Brett Manning. Brett is a girl, and she does these incredible cryptozoology, strange, folkloric, fairy tale creatures, illustrations, all manner of little knickknacks and products. She even does these what are the little enamel pins now, those brooches and things that you can
get.
I have a Krampus
but the
one.
best I mean she sent me a little care package. I say little, she's very generous. At Christmas I received her book that she has that you can buy. All of her illustrations are in there, a original piece of artwork, some pins, all kinds of cool stuff. But the reason I bring this up is a couple of days ago, you probably saw this, she's just started creating these little Sasquatch footprint cameos, these tiny little brooches which look like real mud and real moss with little footprints of Bigfoot, like a human-shaped footprint basically, but pushed into the mud. And they're now these sort of little glazed tiny little brooches that you can wear like on your lapel perhaps, or around your neck on a necklace, and they look amazing, and every single one is hand done and different, and they're just so cute. And I just have to sort of give a shout out to Brett because she's amazing. I mean, she does so much artwork, she makes me work harder.
Yeah, she's posting every day, and she's done like 3 or 4 different things. I'm going, you're amazing, you're absolutely amazing. And everything she does is so original. I'm sure that everyone has seen this by now, and I've mentioned this before, but it's worth a mention again. I even have a cell phone case that is her version of Pennywise the Clown, and it's just my favorite thing. And
So good.
I have the book as well, and a bunch of the pins. And she sent a postcard that she wrote on the back, a personal note to me that I have on my wall. She's just all around a wonderful person, and hopefully we get to meet her in person someday. Yeah, Facebook
and Instagram. But her website is brettisagirl.com, so it's BRETT isagirl.com, and she has an Etsy store where you can buy all kinds of really amazing original artwork, as you say, as well as these brooches and postcards and T-shirts even. It's all there. It's beautiful stuff. So if you like fairy tales and cryptozoology and wolves and all manner of strange creatures and Bigfoot, she's got it all.
I love it. God, I feel like cryptids are just, they are taking over everything now. I mean, look at like the shop I work at. Now, you guys would be so proud of me. Yesterday we got this big whiteboard in the shop. For those that don't know, I work at a Sasquatch themed coffee shop, and we have Cryptid of the Week. So the first one I chose, and I'm going to be the only one in charge of doing this every week, is putting a Cryptid of the Week, explaining what it is, where it's been seen, since how long. So really cool. Today, the inaugural Cryptid is the Beast of Bray Road. So
nice.
Yeah. Lovely.
I tried drawing it and failed miserably, so we're just going to keep it.
Well, the Beast of Bray Road, that's the next Small Town Monsters documentary from Seth Breedlove and the gang. That'll be coming soon, with little artwork by me for one of the covers there as well. But this one looks really good. Are werewolves real kind of thing. Very excited about that one. Small Town Monsters. Check them out.
Yeah, you're always saying how everyone else is working so hard, and meanwhile, so are you. So Sam and I play the 11-11 game, which he beats me miserably at. And anyhow, a couple of days ago, I got one. I got an 11-11. I'm like, yeah, boy, what's up, 11-11? He's like, shh, I'm drawing something. I'm busy, I'm like, fine, I still got it. Goodbye. And then 2 days later, the lovely flaming bunny came up. I'm like, oh, damn, you really were busy. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, the 11-11 game, for anyone who doesn't know, we all play it with, each other and several friends and stuff. It's the classic situation where a couple of us, and I say as in the human race or what have you, will occasionally glance at the clock and it will just happen to say 11:11, and it gives you a really spooky feeling because you see it so often and you think, why am I looking at that particular number? That's weird. And I'll get it on my phone every now and then. It'll be the other version is you'll see 444, or sometimes you'll see 616 all the time. But when it's 11:11, I'll quickly WhatsApp Shannon and hit 11:11 before she can, or she'll do it to me. And sometimes I won't see it, and sometimes she'll see it. But it's almost like passing on good luck. So, but it's turned into almost like a competition now. It's hilarious. Who can get there first?
That's awesome. I love that.
And I said it's cheating if you're just watching the clock. You can't do that.
How do you know? You don't know this. I legitimately snagged that puppy, and you're like, shush. I'm busy.
Yeah, it only works if it's a legitimate, glance and you catch it kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, no, I've been incredibly busy. We're all familiar with our good buddy Joshua Cutchin, supernatural, unexplained author. I've just done his next book cover, Thieves in the Night, A Brief History of Supernatural Child Abductions. So that will be coming out.
Wow.
Anomalous Books, I believe. So yeah, look out for Joshua Cutchin's next book. He's previously done a lot of books on fairies and supernatural smells and all manner of strange, things that we love, basically. So his next book, it's a nice big thick book apparently as well. So if you like stories about children going missing in the middle of the night, taken from their bedrooms by aliens and fairies, or are they the same thing, then definitely look out for that.
That one's heavy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Definitely mentally prepare for that one.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, who could forget David Weatherly? We've just done Wood Knocks Volume 3. And in fact, Joshua Cutchin's done one of the articles in that as well. And it's your typical sort of collection of, I think it's 9 to 12 different writers are in each book. People like Nick Redfern, and even Micah Hanks did the forward in one of them, I think. And David Weatherly, 3rd volume of Woodnock's Sasquatch sort of journal. It's an incredible book, full of all different ideas and anecdotes and stories from right across the world. Amazing series. Check that out. Oh yeah, and I did the artwork for that too.
Killing it, Sam.
He's such a lovely gentleman. I was on the phone with David a number of weeks ago. I had an important question to ask him about somebody that was emailing me, and we spent a lot of time on the phone, and he's so knowledgeable.
He's a wonderful man.
Yeah. And you're just like rolling through these names. I'm like, okay, so I know you both saw my little my brain cloud board. So these are just more names that need to go up. I mean, how long overdue is it for me to talk to David? So actually on the air and not just behind the scenes. So yes, I have volume 1.
That's my problem with I don't know, Shannon, if you run into this. Like once you start podcasting, you see every opportunity for any social interaction as like a possible recording, and I have to like step back and be like, wait, live life. Wait for the recording. Nobody gives a crap about what you had for dinner. Like, stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
But every time
you got to get David on though, definitely.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. I feel like any conversation with him would be worth recording.
Yeah. No, it's great.
He's another one of those guys that has sort of, irons in every fire. His knowledge isn't on just one specific thing. He's very knowledgeable about Bigfoot, but he's also really knowledgeable about all manner of alien abductions and the jinn and black-eyed children and, all of those kind of things. So he has a whole spectrum of a good back catalogue in his brain. I don't know if there's many authors out there that are so varied in their topics, apart from Nick Redfern, of course, who just never stops. That man doesn't sleep.
No, he never sleeps. Never stops writing. He closes his eyes and his hand is still going. He's just typing away.
Yeah. Nick's actually writing 10 different books, one for each finger, all at the same time.
At least.
He has a special keyboard, you see, and when it does, one tap for one finger, it writes a sentence. That's how he does it. How else can he put them out so quick?
It's insane. I swear he's got like 10 clones in his apartment in Texas. Just like cranking them out on the typewriter like, little monkeys.
Yeah, he's definitely an alien. Yeah.
Instead of those monkeys stealing our damn socks, and you're like, I just put this in here, and now the other one is gone. Its fellow is just missing.
Poltergeist.
Well, here's another thing about David Weatherly. This is how nice David Weatherly is, just to sort of, shine his shoes a little more. He was nice enough to put me in touch with David Hatcher Childress, the legend himself, the real Indiana Jones. And he was looking for, an artist to do his next Bigfoot book, which was Bigfoot Nation. And David Weatherly, without, considering any competition or rivalry or anything like that, just said, hey, you should talk to Sam. And so he was really nice enough to put me in touch with David Hatcher Childress, who wrote to me, and I ended up doing his book cover as well, Bigfoot Nation.
Great.
And that was the cover of his World Explorers magazine as well, and all of this kind of thing. And it just made me think, there's not enough of that out there, especially in these fields, whether it's UFOs or Bigfoot or whichever, where people share, and it's really nice that people do share. It's rare, though, and it's sad because more people... We will progress further if we actually share information and we push each other along. And for David Weatherly to do that was really nice, to put me in touch with, effectively someone who's also putting out a Bigfoot book. It is competition in reality, but to him, he didn't see it that way. He thought this is, just a thing that should happen. And I thought that was really nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. I agree, Sam. I think like the newer generation of researchers in all of these fields are kind of realizing, like, stop holding everything so close to the chest. Like, share your info.
Exactly.
We're all looking for the same things, and we all know that I work at a coffee shop. So and so works here. Like, we're not making a living off of doing this stuff. It's just a huge, huge passion of ours. So, like, I think, again, that newer generation realizes that. We're like, let's just have fun and let's try to find some answers. And, maybe we write a book, maybe we have a show. Like, that's cool and everything. But when it comes down to it, like, of course I'm going to email you guys if I come across something interesting, or, with my fellow UFO researchers. Like, what else am I going to do with it?
Right.
I can't sell that information. So, like, why?
Hang
One
on
question.
a second.
Why?
You podcast and you wrote a book. You are independently wealthy, and I'm tired of you lying to these people.
Stacks on stacks.
Yes, rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still have that fourth Hummer, right? In the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yes. I had to park it in San Diego. However, just don't have room here at the mansion.
LA's a bitch to park in.
Did you get your chrome finished on your speedboat as well?
Not
did
yet.
you decide to go with fluorescent red? I can't remember which one you wanted. Or did you get two boats in the end? I don't know.
No, I went for the twin engine instead of the two boats. Just put another engine on the back. 600 horsepower
I'd rather
piece.
go faster.
Yeah.
Oh God! If everyone could just see me now in my closet.
I remember once that
The stark reality of it all.
and it's got to be warm in there, right? We know that you're nude as well, so it's fine. It's totally fine. Who wants to shower twice before you go to work, right? I remember once when Sasquatch was still going, and Andy, was popping on there. That is Mark Matsky's son. I think at the time he was, 12 or 13 or something, and he was doing an incredible job. And I posted something on Facebook and Instagram. It was simply just a handwritten sign by me, like, hey, I think they were close to however many downloads or something. And it was just a note of encouragement, like, go Andy. And I just was like peeking over the sign just to give a little encouragement. And somebody had, they commented something like, oh, I wonder how much you made for that. And I'm like, oh, you're such a moron. What a clown. Go away. I was just, especially for a young man that I was trying to encourage. I'm like, you're a sad sack of crap.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. People can be really, really nasty.
They're jealous. They're just jealous.
They're
That's
so
what my mom would
jolly.
tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I got called a Satanist on Instagram the other day.
See, now you know you really made it if you did that.
Oh, I was,
Satanist.
I mean,
Under what post?
I didn't reply because why feed them?
Yeah.
Why feed the fire? Ironically, fire. But it's like they call me a Satanist. That's a bad thing. Just like
Satanists are misunderstood anyway. Honest to God, they really are. So, under what post though? I was curious. Was it?
Could it possibly be the Baphalope, the Jackalope Baphomet? Yeah. Someone had just messaged me and said, blah 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 Satanism, and I'm like, I'm not a devil worshipper who murders children. There's a difference. It's like I don't worship the devil, for Christ's sake. But Satanism, it is a completely misread and misunderstood thing, and there are very different sort of belief systems in the world that will look at that as sort of the ultimate evil, and these people are clearly 100% criminal and just bad people and wrong and everything. And you just think, you have no idea. Get an education, go read a book. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean, literally, please go and get an education. Because most people who will side with the movement and the idea and the metaphor and the sort of the whole point of being of no religion, of no God, to be, for want of a better label, Satanism, Satanist, people will only adopt that because they're proud to not believe in a God and not worship a God who does murder children in the Bible, let's face it.
Good point.
It's like, I mean, you call a spade a spade. It is what it is. But, most Satanists will be activists for gay rights and women's rights and, pro-choice and all of this kind of stuff. It's very misunderstood. And if people actually did look into it and read about it, they'd see that it's about being open-minded. It's about being completely of no worship to anything, to be subservient to anything. It's ridiculous. It's like, be yourself, enjoy everybody, love everybody around you, pick up your fellow human. That's the Satanist.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me.
Those bastards. Oh, I know that it's terrible, right? I know. People have no clue. And you literally do just need to stop being the keyboard warrior and go pick up a book and educate yourself before you just blast off on something that you have no clue what you're talking about. So,
he painted a black rabbit with horns. Oh, he's a Satanist. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Excuse me. Let me just go and turn the oven off. I've got children inside it.
Roasted babies.
I mean, please.
Do you put yours on 450 or 425? Because I find that 450 is a little too high.
Slow roast.
Yeah.
45 minutes on number 3.
Yeah. Little maple syrup.
Yeah.
Vinegar
just
mix.
Make sure just make sure you peel them first.
Yeah, absolutely. Can use the skin later for other things.
This is awful. This is absolutely awful because this has happened. This is actually quite horrible.
It is. But you gotta. You still.
This is why. This is why I hate the museum. Oh, I say hate's a very strong word, but I'll say it. I already did, so I might as well go with it. I hate the Museum of Death in Los Angeles because it glorifies murder. People could say the excuse of you go to any museum of intolerance kind of thing, and you'll see images from the Holocaust, and it's the same thing. Well, it's not really, because the Museum of Death is kind of like a serial killer murder type thing. And I know you're fascinated by that whole aspect of history and strange cases, Shannon. I know you love that kind of thing. But for me, when I went to see the Museum of Death, I'm walking around this very small museum and seeing photographs of people who've been dismembered and beheaded, with other people just sitting around a kitchen table smiling, and they're literally psychopathic murderers. And these photographs are on the wall, and then there's a little bit of information underneath it saying, this person did this and this person did that. And I'm thinking, this shouldn't be on display. This is the same as putting a terrorist on the cover of Time magazine. They shouldn't have this kind of glorification, because I say that because you go to the front of the museum and there's T-shirts with Ed Gein and Charles Manson and all these other, Jeffrey Dahmer and everything. You can buy T-shirts with serial killers on them. And I think, my girlfriend at the time had to explain to her, because she was saying, "Oh yeah, that's really cool." And I said, "Well, it's not, because if you think there was somebody screaming, crying, begging for their life, suffering, and being physically tortured and worse, and then finally actually just murdered brutally, and then maybe made into a coat or whatever, or buried or just burned. This happened to children and men and women, and just to sort of wear a T-shirt and say, yeah, this serial killer was cool, to me is inherently wrong. It's just bizarre.
Well, yeah, I sorry, Shannon.
No, go ahead.
I want to agree with Sam, because I think particularly Americans have such a fascination with the serial killer, and I do as well. I definitely do. I've written plays about it, and I've seen all the movies, whatever. But I went to the museum as well, Sam, and it was not what I expected. I wanted to go to learn about the psyche of the serial killer and why this happened. And instead, like you said,
absolutely,
I went because I wanted to see, there was a exhibition about the Heaven's Gate cult. And of course, that being the whole UFO thing. Yeah. And I wanted to learn about Applewhite, the cult leader, and what compelled him to do this, and the mythology behind what he was telling his followers. And instead, it's just a image of two dead bodies under a blanket after they killed themselves. And I'm like, and they're like, this is the actual bed, the actual cot, these are the actual sneakers that the victim wore. And I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see, I don't want to be shown exploitative things like that. I want to learn
it's a sideshow.
What and how we can stop it from happening again. So I think the museum missed the mark huge, when it could have been something very interesting for curious minds. But I think they took the easy route with that one. And that's why, like you said, things like the Museum of Intolerance are much more equipped to deal with things like that. And there's a history behind it.
Yeah, it's just presented in a different way. And I think when exploitive sideshow style, it's just wrong. I'm not going to say, I was disgusted and shocked, because I wasn't. I love horror films. I have The Hills Have Eyes on my shelf. I love all that kind of thing. And I listen to Marilyn Manson, which is based on the best and worst of America. That's the whole point, the pro and negative Marilyn Manson. So I get the idea, the fascination, the culture behind serial killers. I do understand that as a pop culture thing. But when you're, as you say, putting it in a little box next to you saying, these are the actual clothes or what have you, it's like that. I don't care about that. I'm not interested, like you see, behind the workings of the mind and where they came from and why they were that way is far more interesting.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess this is not a good plug for the Museum of Death, guys. Just so
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I would say go see it. I'm
going to tweet this episode.
Why not? I would say
any mention is a good mention. They say that, right? Any press?
Go see
I guess so.
Yeah, there's no such thing as bad press. Yeah, but it's worth seeing. It will, if anything, it will certainly open your mind. I personally think it needs an overhaul and another look at how it should be presented. But there you go. That's just me.
Well, my lovely friends, I know that Ryan has to get off to the Sasquatch Coffee Co. and put up his Beast of Bray Road little deal, right? So, Thank you guys so much. I love you. I missed you guys, so thank you so much for doing this today.
Yeah, this was fun. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, we will. It won't be so long next time.
Go back. Yeah.
We really hit the mark on Into the Random. I love it.
Yes, we did. As you know, when we were all talking, I make my list, and the blank page was there in the beginning. It is no blank because I have a lot of things to throw up for the teaser of what we've been talking about. So you guys never disappoint.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for having us, Shan. It's been so great, and keep up the good work, and let's do it more often.
Yeah, you guys too. Busy boys.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love.
Well, I'm so-and-so. I was given this name by my parents. I've been to such and such a college. I've done these things in my profession. I produce a little biography. Buddha says, forget it. That's not true. That's some story. That's all gone. That's all past. I want to see the real you are now. Well, nobody knows who that is. Because we don't know ourselves except through listening to our echoes and consulting our memories. But then there's a real you, and that again leads us back to this question. Who are you? That is the real you. We shall see how they play with this exam by the koans to get you to come out of your shell and find out who you really are. that after your funeral, you will suddenly become somebody different, living somewhere else. They will say reincarnation means this, that if you sitting here now are really convinced that you're the same person who walked in at the door half an hour ago, you're being reincarnated. If you are liberated, you will understand that you're not. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. There is only the present. That's the only real you that there is. The Zen master Dogen put it in this way. He said, the spring does not become the summer. First there is summer, and then there is spring. When you settle down in the train to read your newspaper and so on, you are not the same person who a little while ago left the platform. If you think you are linking your moments up in a chain. And this is what binds you to the wheel of birth and death. But when you know that every moment in which you are is the only moment, this comes into Zen. A master will say to somebody, get up and walk across the room. And he comes back and he says, where are your footprints? They've gone. So where are you? Who are you? When we are asked who we are, we usually give a kind of recitation of a history.